5 churches, all founded within decades of Jesus' death. James in Jerusalem says, follow every commandment. Matthew's community says, follow the law, but Jesus interprets it. Luke's community says, Jews keep it, Gentiles don't have to. Mark's community says, we don't observe it. John's community says that's not even the main question. If there was one original Christianity, why did the earliest communities disagree on something this fundamental? To understand this diversity, we need to start with how Christianity spread, and it's not the story you've heard. The traditional version looks clean and orderly. The book of Acts presents Christianity spreading in neat concentric circles, Jerusalem to Judea, to Samaria, to the ends of the earth, a tidy apostolic relay. But Acts itself undermines this picture. Its own text mentions anonymous Christians fleeing persecution and carrying the message to Syria and the Eastern Mediterranean. Philip goes to Samaria on his own initiative. An Ethiopian eunuch may carry the gospel to Ethiopia. The engine of Christian expansion wasn't a coordinated apostolic mission. It was ordinary, unnamed people traveling home. This messy, decentralized spread produced something remarkable, entirely distinct regional Christianities developing in parallel. These aren't later heresies breaking off from a trunk. They're independent movements growing simultaneously from the very beginning. Different regions had different leaders, different texts, and different theological priorities. Let's map them. Jerusalem, James leads a community of Jewish Christians who keep the full law. Rome. Tradition links it to Peter, but historians believe anonymous Christians founded the community there before Peter ever arrived. Antioch and Western Syria, a distinct tradition, likely the home of Matthew's Gospel. Syria and India, Thomasine Christianity, associated with the Apostle Thomas, producing its own literature, including the Gospel of Thomas. Thomasine Christianity means the tradition linked to Thomas, centered in Syria and India, with distinctive texts and theology. Egypt, Christians almost certainly arrived early, but our sources are too scarce to characterize the community. Notice, no dotted lines connect these regions. They developed independently. Different regions didn't just have different leaders. They had fundamentally different answers to the most important question facing the early movement. Must followers of Jesus obey the Torah? The Torah is the Jewish law, the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, governing diet, Sabbath, circumcision, and the daily life. 5 early communities gave 5 distinct answers. Position 1, James and the Jerusalem community, full Torah observance. Christianity is a Jewish movement. Followers keep every commandment. Position 2, Matthew's community, likely in Antioch. The law still applies, but Jesus is its authoritative interpreter. He doesn't abolish the law. He reframes and prioritizes its commandments. 2 communities, both committed to the Torah, but already disagreeing on how it works. Position 3, Luke's community, a diplomatic middle ground. Jewish Christians should keep the Torah. Gentile Christians, meaning non-Jewish converts, don't have to. An ethnic tradition model. Position 4, Mark's community, predominantly Gentile. Followers do not keep the Jewish law, a clean break. These 2 communities sat side by side in the Mediterranean world, reaching opposite conclusions about the same converts. Position 5, John and Thomas's communities. The Torah simply isn't the central concern. John's driving question is Christology, the theological question of who Jesus is, his nature, his relationship to God. The law barely registers, from every commandment to not even on the agenda. And these communities existed simultaneously, not sequentially. This isn't a story of gradual liberalization over time. James's community persisted alongside Mark's. These were competing visions. These disagreements weren't minor theological quibbles. Torah observance determined who could eat together, who could marry whom, how children were raised, and whether male converts needed circumcision. These were community-defining, identity-shaping disputes. They determined whether you could share a meal with the person sitting next to you in worship. The stakes were as practical and personal as it gets. Each gospel reflects a particular community's theology, not a universal Christian position. When you read Matthew and Mark side by side and notice contradictions about the law, that's not a scribal error. It's evidence of two different communities with two different theologies. The next time someone claims the early church believed one thing, press on it. Which early church, in which city, reading which text? Diversity isn't a bug in early Christianity. It's the original feature.